Chief Emeka Okonkwo was getting married in 3 days. The whole of Lagos knew it. His face was on billboards. His wedding invitation cost more than most people's monthly salary. And his fiancée, Zara, had already done 5 magazine covers in her wedding dress. But right now, Chief Emeka was standing in front of Zara's father's mansion in Banana Island, sweating like a Christmas goat, trying to explain why he was calling off the wedding. "Sir, I cannot marry your daughter," he said. Zara's father, Senator Adebayo, stared at him like he had just spoken Chinese. Behind him, Zara screamed so loud that 3 security guards came running. "You will regret this, Emeka," she shouted, throwing her 2 million naira engagement ring at his head. She missed. The ring bounced off a marble pillar and landed in the swimming pool. Emeka didn't even flinch. His mind was somewhere else entirely. It was in a small village called Umunze, with a girl named Adaize who sold oranges by the roadside and didn't even know who he was.
Emeka's life was perfect, too perfect. At 35, he owned the biggest construction company in West Africa, had houses in 3 countries, and his garage had more cars than some dealerships. His friends called him the machine because he never made mistakes. Everything was planned, calculated, profitable. Even his marriage to Zara was a business move. Her father was a senator, her mother owned half of Victoria Island, and together they would build an empire. Love? That was for poor people who had time to waste. Emeka was drinking champagne in his penthouse when his assistant, Chidi, knocked on the door. "Oga, your mother called again," Chidi said carefully. Emeka's jaw tightened. His mother, Mama Okonkwo, had been calling for 2 weeks. She wanted him to come home to Anambra State, to the village for some traditional ceremony. Emeka hated the village. No Wi-Fi, no proper roads, just bush and mosquitoes. "Tell her I'm busy," he said. "I did, sir. She said if you don't come, she will curse you herself." Emeka laughed. Then he remembered his mother didn't make empty threats.
The drive to Umunze was torture. Emeka sat in the back of his Range Rover, watching civilization disappear behind him. Chidi was driving, and they had been on the road for 5 hours. The highways had turned into bumpy roads, and the bumpy roads had turned into paths that looked like goat tracks. "Are you sure we're going the right way?" Emeka asked for the 10th time. "Yes, sir. Google Maps says..." "Google Maps is a liar," Emeka interrupted, grabbing his phone. "No signal." "Of course." He sighed and looked out the window. Children were playing football with a plastic ball in a dusty field. Women balanced basins of water on their heads. An old man sat under a tree, solving the world's problems with his friends. It was like traveling back in time. They arrived at his mother's compound just before sunset. The house was small but well-maintained, painted bright yellow with red trim. Mama Okonkwo was waiting outside, sitting on a wooden bench, fanning herself. When she saw the Range Rover, she stood up slowly. "Emeka, you finally decided to remember your mother," she called out. "Mama, I'm here now," Emeka said, climbing out of the car. She grabbed his ear and twisted it like he was still 10 years old. 3 weeks I called you. 3 weeks. After Mama Okonkwo finished scolding him, feeding him, and scolding him again, she gave him a task. "Tomorrow morning, you will go to the market and buy me palm oil, stockfish, and bitter leaf," she said. Emeka stared at her. "Mama, I can send Chidi." "You will go yourself, with your own 2 legs. You have forgotten where you came from. You think money will follow you to heaven?" She was right, of course. She was always right. That's why Emeka found himself the next morning, walking through Umunzi Market like a lost tourist. People stared at him. His designer shirt, his expensive watch, his confused face, everything about him screamed city boy. He was trying to remember what bitter leaf looked like when someone tapped his shoulder. "Excuse me, fine boy, you look lost. You need help?" Emeka turned around and forgot how to breathe. The girl standing in front of him was beautiful. Not magazine cover beautiful like Zara, but real beautiful. Her skin glowed in the morning sun. Her smile was warm and genuine, and her eyes sparkled with mischief. She was wearing a simple wrapper and blouse, carrying a basket of oranges on her head. I'm looking for bitter leaf, he managed to say.
Bitter leaf? Follow me, the girl said, already walking away. Emeka followed like a puppy. She led him through the crowded market, greeting everyone by name. Mama Ngozi, Uncle Chike, Sister Blessing. Everyone knew her. Everyone loved her. They reached a stall where an old woman was selling vegetables. Mama Neka, this Lagos boy needs bitter leaf, the girl announced. Mama Neka looked Emeka up and down and laughed. Lagos boy! I can see it on his face. He probably doesn't even know how to cook. The girl laughed too, and Emeka felt his face grow hot. I know how to cook, he said defensively. Really? What can you cook? I can make toast, he admitted. They all burst into laughter. The girl was wiping tears from her eyes. Toast! Lagos people and their toast. But she wasn't being mean. Her laughter was kind, teasing but not cruel. Emeka found himself laughing too. After Mama Neka packed his bitter leaf, stockfish and palm oil, Emeka turned to thank the girl properly. Thank you for helping me. I'm Emeka. What's your name? Ada Eze. But everyone calls me Ada. Ada, he repeated, liking how it sounded. Can I buy you something? As thank you? Buy me something? You want to buy me something? Ada laughed. Buy my oranges instead. That's my something. She pointed to her basket. Emeka looked at the oranges. They were just regular oranges, nothing special. But he said, I'll take all of them. Ada's smile disappeared. All of them? What will you do with 50 oranges? I like oranges, Emeka lied. You are lying. But okay, city boy, that will be 2,000 naira. Emeka pulled out his wallet and gave her a 10,000 naira note. Keep the change. Ada stared at the money, then at him, then back at the money. Are you trying to show off? No, because I don't need your pity money. I work hard for my money. She pushed the note back into his hand and counted out exactly 2,000 naira in small bills. This is the price. If you want to help people, go build a borehole in the village. We need clean water, not pity. Then she picked up her empty basket and walked away, leaving Emeka standing there with 50 oranges and a strange feeling in his chest. No one had ever rejected his money before. No one had ever called him out like that. No one had ever made him feel so alive. Emeka couldn't stop thinking about Ada. That night, as he ate dinner with his mother, he barely tasted the food. Emeka, you're not eating. What's wrong? Mama Okonko asked. Nothing, Mama. I'm just tired. Tired? Or thinking about a girl? Emeka's head snapped up. How did you? I'm your mother. I know everything. Who is she? Emeka sighed. There was no point lying to Mama. I met a girl at the market today. Ada. She sells oranges. Mama Okonko smiled, a knowing smile that made Emeka nervous. Ada Eze Okafo. Good girl. Very respectful. Her father died 3 years ago, so she takes care of her mother and younger brothers by selling oranges and doing hair. She does hair too? Yes, very talented. But Emeka, Mama's smile faded. You are getting married in 3 weeks. Emeka felt like cold water had been poured on him. Zara, the wedding, the contracts, the plans. He had completely forgotten for a few hours. I know, Mama. Then why are you looking like someone who just found what he's been missing his whole life? Emeka had no answer to that. The next morning, he went back to the market. He told himself he was just buying vegetables for Mama, but really, he was looking for Ada. Emeka found Ada at her usual spot near the market entrance. Today, she wasn't selling oranges. She was sitting on a low stool, braiding a little Belle's hair. Her hands moved quickly, creating perfect cornrows. Ah, Orange Man, you came back, Ada said when she saw him. Did you finish all 50 oranges already?
Not yet. I've been eating 5 a day. That made her laugh. You'll turn into an orange soon. The little girl whose hair she was braiding giggled. Emeka watched her work for a moment, then said, You mentioned the village needs a borehole. Ada's hands paused. She looked up at him suspiciously. Why? I want to build one. You want to build a borehole just like that? Just like that. I'm in construction. It's what I do. Ada studied his face, searching for mockery or pity. She found neither. There's a good spot near the community school, but boreholes cost money, city boy. How much? At least 500,000 naira, maybe more. Emeka pulled out his phone, made a quick call and said, My team will be here next week to start drilling. Ada dropped the comb. The little girl said, Auntie Ada, you're pulling my hair. But Ada wasn't paying attention. She was staring at Emeka like he had just performed magic.
Why are you doing this? Ada asked after the little girl had left. Emeka sat down on the bench next to her stall. Because you said the village needs it. But why do you care? You're from Lagos. You will leave in a few days and forget all about us. Maybe I don't want to forget, Emeka said quietly. Ada went still. The market noise seemed to fade away. You have a fiancé, she said. It wasn't a question. Emeka's stomach dropped. How did you know? Mama Okonkwo talks to my mother. She told her everything. Your big Lagos wedding, your rich wife, your perfect life. Ada's voice wasn't angry, just sad. Congratulations. Ada, it's fine. Thank you for the borehole. It will help many people. She stood up and started packing her things, even though it was only noon. Ada, please wait. I need to go home. My mother is sick. She picked up her empty basin and walked away quickly. Emeka sat there, watching her go, feeling like he had just lost something precious before he even had it. Chidi appeared behind him. Oga, your mother is looking for you. Chidi, how do you know when you found the right person? Chidi raised his eyebrows. Oga, you're asking the wrong person. I've been divorced twice.
That evening, Emeka's phone rang. Zara. He had been avoiding her calls for 2 days. Hello, darling. Zara's voice was sweet, too sweet. I haven't heard from you. How's the village? Have the mosquitoes eaten you alive yet? Emeka looked around his mother's simple living room. It's fine. Good. Listen, the wedding planner needs to know your final decision on the champagne, French or Italian. Zara, we need to talk. Not now, darling. I'm at the spa. Just tell me, French or Italian? I don't care about the champagne. Silence. Then, you don't care about our wedding? That's not what I said. Then what are you saying, Emeka? Because I'm getting tired of this village attitude. You've been gone 3 days and you're already acting strange. Emeka closed his eyes. I'll call you back. Emeka. He hung up. His mother walked into the room carrying a tray of fried plantain. That was your wife? She's not my wife yet. But she will be in 3 weeks. Mama sat down next to him. Unless something has changed. Emeka looked at his mother, this wise woman who raised him alone after his father died. Mama, how did you know Papa was the one? I didn't, not at first. But then I saw how he treated the housemaid, how he talked to beggars, how he shared his last kobo with his friends. Character, my son, character is what matters.
The next day was the village festival. Mama Okonkwo insisted Emeka attend. You need to remember your culture, she said, tying a wrapper round his waist over his trousers. Emeka felt ridiculous, but he went. The village square was decorated with palm fronds and colorful fabrics. There was music, dancing, and the smell of food filled the air. Old women performed traditional dances while young men showed off their wrestling skills. Emeka was standing under a tree, trying to blend in, when he saw her. Ada was dancing with a group of girls. She wore a beautiful Ankara dress and her hair was starred in an intricate pattern. She looked like she belonged to this place, rooted and real. Their eyes met across the crowd. Ada stopped dancing. The world seemed to stop with her. Then someone grabbed Emeka's arm. It was Uncle Obena, his mother's brother. Emeka, come, we need you to donate money for the community center. And just like that, Emeka was dragged away, constantly looking back at Ada, who had resumed dancing but kept glancing his way. Uncle Obena paraded him around like a prize goat. This is Mama Okonko's son, big man from Lagos. He builds houses and roads. People crowded around him, asking for money, for jobs, for help. Emeka gave generously, but his attention was elsewhere.
Finally, Emeka escaped Uncle Obina and went looking for Ada. He found her getting water from a clay pot. Ada? She turned, surprised. City boy, enjoying the festival? It's interesting. You mean boring? She smiled. You can say it. It's not boring, just different. The band started playing a slow traditional song. Couples began dancing together. Do you want to dance? Emeka asked. Ada hesitated. I don't think that's a good idea. Why not? It's just a dance. Because... Ada looked around nervously. People will talk. They already saw you giving money everywhere. If they see us dancing, they'll think things. What things? That you're using your money to chase me. That I'm after you because you're rich. That I'm a gold digger trying to spoil your engagement. Emeka stepped closer. What if I don't care what people think? But I do, Ada said softly. This is my home. These are my people. When you leave, I'll still be here. She was right. Emeka knew she was right. But he still asked, one dance, please. Ada looked at him for a long moment, then sighed. One dance, but we're dancing at the edge where nobody can see us properly. They danced under the moonlight, away from prying eyes, and Emeka knew, he knew, his life would never be the same. After the festival, Ade walked Emeka home. Her house was small, smaller than his bedroom in Lagos, with a rusty zinc roof and fading paint. This is me, Ade said, stopping at the gate. Thank you for walking me back. Ade, can we talk? Really talk? Ade looked at her house, where a dim lamp glowed through the window. My mother is sleeping. We can sit here for a few minutes. They sat on a wooden bench outside her gate. The night was quiet except for crickets. Tell me about your life, Emeka said. Ade laughed. My life? It's not interesting like yours. Try me. So she told him about her father who died in a motorcycle accident, about her mother's diabetes, about her 2 younger brothers in secondary school, about how she woke up at 5 a.m. every day to fry akara, sold oranges at the market, and braided hair in the evenings. About how she dreamed of opening her own salon someday, but could never save enough money. What about you? Ade asked. Tell me about your perfect Lagos life. Emeka told her about his company, his houses, his cars, but as he spoke, it all sounded empty. And your wife? Ade asked quietly. Fiancée, Emeka corrected. She's beautiful, educated, connected. On paper, she's perfect. On paper, Emeka repeated. When Emeka got back home, his mother was still awake, sitting in the dark. Mama, you should be sleeping. I was waiting for you. She lit a kerosene lamp. Sit down. Emeka sat. He knew what was coming. You like that girl, Adaeze. Mama, don't lie to your mother. I saw how you looked at her during the festival. Emeka rubbed his face. It doesn't matter. I'm getting married. To the wrong woman. Emeka's head snapped up. You said Zara was a good choice. You approved. I approved of the business arrangement, but I didn't know my son was going to fall in love with someone else. Mama Okonkwa stood up and poured water into a cup. Let me tell you something. When your father was alive, a rich man's daughter wanted to marry him.
beautiful girl, lots of money, big connections. Everyone said he should marry her, but he chose me instead, a poor girl from a small village. I didn't know that. Because we don't talk about these things. Your father chose love over money. And we were happy even when we had nothing, even when we were eating gari morning and night. She handed him the cup of water. Money doesn't keep you warm at night, my son.
2 days later, Chidi burst into the house, panicking. Oga, your fiancé is coming to the village. What? Emeka jumped up. She called me. She's on her way. She says she wants to see where you grew up. Mama Okonkwo started laughing. Oh, this will be interesting. 3 hours later, a convoy of cars rolled into Umunze. 3 cars for one woman. The whole village came out to watch. Zara stepped out of a white Mercedes wearing designer sunglasses and heels that immediately sank into the red sand. "Oh my God," she said, looking around with horror. "Emeka, darling." She wobbled toward him, nearly falling twice. "This place is so rustic." "Welcome to my village," Emeka said, feeling embarrassed and he didn't know why. Zara kissed his cheek, leaving a lipstick mark. "I missed you so much. Where's your mother? I brought gifts." Mama Okonkwo came out, looking unimpressed. Zara pulled out an expensive handbag from the car. "Hello, Mama. I bought this for you in Dubai." Mama looked at the handbag like it was a dead rat. "What will I do with this in the village? Carry oranges?" Zara's smile froze. The villagers started snickering. Emeka knew right then that this visit was going to be a disaster, and somewhere in his heart, he was glad.
Zara lasted exactly 4 hours before she started complaining. "Emeka, there's no air conditioning. How do people live like this?" "They manage," Emeka said. He was watching Ada walk past, carrying water on her head. Zara caught him looking. "Who is that?" "Nobody, just a village girl." "She looks dirty. Doesn't she know about skincare?" Mama Okonkwo, who was within hearing distance, said loudly, "That girl is cleaner than most Lagos girls who bathe in makeup." Zara pretended not to hear. That evening, Mama insisted Zara stay for dinner. She served pounded yam and egusi soup. Zara stared at it like it was poison. "Is there no spaghetti? No pizza?" "This is what we eat here," Mama said firmly. Zara picked at the food, eating only small portions. Meanwhile, she kept talking about the wedding. "The president's wife might attend, can you imagine? And I hired dancers from South Africa. Oh, and the cake, it's 7 tiers, Emeka. 7! Emeka wasn't listening. Through the window, he could see Ada's house. A lamp was lit inside. He wondered what she was doing, what she was thinking. "Emeka, are you even listening to me?" Zara snapped. "Sorry, I'm tired. You've been tired since you came to this place. I don't know what's wrong with you." Mama Okonkwo knew exactly what was wrong with him.
The next morning, Zara insisted on seeing the village. "I want to understand your route, darling," she said. So they walked through Umunze, with Zara complaining every step of the way. "It's so hot. There are flies. Why don't they build proper houses?" They passed Ada's orange stall. Ada was there, arranging her fruits. She saw Emeka and Zara, and her face went blank. Zara noticed. "Oh, is that the dirty girl from yesterday?" Before Emeka could respond, Zara walked up to Ada's stall. "How much are these oranges?" 100 naira for 4, Ada said politely. Zara wrinkled her nose. "They look rotten. Don't you have better quality?" "They're fresh," Ada said, her voice still calm but her eyes flashing. "I picked them this morning." "I doubt it. In Lagos, we have standards." The market went quiet. Everyone was watching. Ada stood up slowly. She was shorter than Zara but somehow seemed bigger. "Madam, if you don't want to buy, you can go. But don't insult my oranges. I work hard for everything I have. I don't sit in air-conditioned rooms waiting for money to fall from the sky."
Zara's mouth dropped open. How dare you talk to me like, let's go, Zara, Emeka interrupted, grabbing her arm. As they walked away, Zara was furious. Did you hear how she talked to me? Emeka, you need to put that girl in her place. That night, Emeka couldn't sleep. He walked out of his mother's house and found himself at Ada's gate again. Ada was sitting outside, looking at the stars. You are here again, she said without looking at him. Can't sleep. Me neither. Emeka sat next to her. I'm sorry about today, about Zara. Don't apologize for her. She's your choice. Is she though? Emeka asked. Or did I just choose what was expected? Ada finally looked at him. What do you want from me, Emeka? I don't know. I just know that when I'm with you, I feel like myself, like I can breathe. And when you're with her, I feel like I'm drowning in diamonds. Ada laughed sadly. That's the most Lagos thing I've ever had. They sat in silence for a while. Then Ada said, You should marry her. She's your kind. I'm just a village girl who sells oranges. You are not just anything. But I'm not enough for your world, and you know it. Emeka wanted to argue, but the truth was heavy in the air. He had a life in Lagos, a company, responsibilities, a wedding in less than 2 weeks. But here, in this small village, with this girl who called him out and made him laugh, he felt more alive than he had in years.
The next morning, Emeka woke up knowing what he had to do. He called Chidi. Get the car ready. We're going back to Lagos. What about Mama? I'll talk to her. He found his mother in the kitchen, grinding pepper. Mama, I have to go. Mama Okonko didn't look surprised. To marry the wrong woman? To do the right thing? And what is the right thing? Emeka took a deep breath. To cancel the wedding. Mama's face broke into a huge smile. Ah, finally, my son has grown sense. Zara was furious when he told her. She screamed, cried, and threatened to sue him. Her father called him, promising to destroy his business. His friends said he was crazy, but Emeka felt lighter than he had in years. He went back to Lagos, faced everyone, returned deposits, apologized to guests. It was messy and expensive and humiliating, but it was honest. 2 weeks later, after everything had settled, he drove back to Umuze. He found Ada at her stall, selling oranges like always. I cancelled the wedding, he said. Ada looked up at him shocked. You did what? I cancelled it. I couldn't marry her, not when my heart was here. Emeka, I'm not asking you to marry me tomorrow. I know we barely know each other, but I want to try. I want to see where this goes.
Ada stared at him for a long moment. Then she said, You're crazy, you know that. I've been told. You gave up everything for a village girl who sells oranges. I gave up the wrong things for a chance at the right one. Ada's eyes filled with tears. What if it doesn't work? What if we're too different? Then we'll find out together. Emeka stepped closer. But I think we're not as different as you believe. I think we both know what it means to work hard, to care for family, to want something real. Ada wiped her eyes. Your Lagos friends will never accept me. Then they are not really my friends. Your business partners will talk. Let them talk. You'll miss your fancy life. Ada, I have money, houses, cars, but I was empty. You know what I realized? I was building everything except a life worth living. Ada laughed through her tears. You're really crazy. Maybe, but will you give this crazy man a chance? Ada looked at her oranges, then at Emeka, then back at her oranges. Then she smiled, that same warm, genuine smile that had caught his attention in the market. Okay, city boy, but you're buying all my oranges again. Deal. And there, in a small market in Umunze village, surrounded by curious onlookers and the smell of fresh oranges, Emeka Okonkwo found what he had been missing all along. Not a business deal, Not a strategic marriage, but something real, something true, something worth more than all his billions. 6 months later, they got married in that same village, under a tent, with local music and Mama Okonko dancing with joy. It wasn't a magazine wedding. It was better. It was real. And Emeka finally understood what wealth really meant. It meant finding someone who loved you when you had nothing to prove.